Out-of-home advertising is often referred to as OOH. We're going to talk about the different types of out-of-home and the purpose of using out-of-home for advertising. So, by definition, out-of-home is just as it sounds, media that you encounter out of your home. So we're talking about bumper stickers. Billboards is probably the most popular when you think of out of home, shopping carts, buses, trucks, and things of that nature. So what is out of home good for? So one of the main things that you use out of home for is to remind you of the brand or the campaign. So you might have a campaign running already, and then you do a billboard so that people remember the campaign or remember your brand. Very seldom do a brand just use the out of home without other pieces for a campaign. It also reinforces the general image of a brand. So a lot of times you'll see out of home and it's not giving you any type of information about the brand. It's just showing you their image and how they want you to perceive their brand. So they're reinforcing that. Geographic targeting. So it's really a good opportunity when using out of home to target people based on where they live, where they work, or where they are. So, for example, if you had a billboard for something you would be targeting, your brand is targeting college students, you can put your ad on the side of a bus that goes through campus for whatever your brand is. So you're right there where your target is. So it's very good for that. And it's high frequency. So, meaning billboards, shopping carts, buses, trucks, it's going to be a lot of people that pass by a billboard or use a shopping cart or a bus passes them or they get on a bus. So it's a very high frequency with out of home advertising. So here's some characteristics that makes an out of home ad work well. So the first one is the graphics. You must make sure you catch the viewer's attention. And you have to catch it fast because remember, people are on the move. If they're in the car, they can't stop to read a bunch of stuff that you have on your ad. Or even if they walking or the bus passes them, that goes by really quickly. And so going to the next point, few words. So they have to be able to read it quickly because everything is moving fast. So you don't want a whole bunch of information, a paragraph, or even like three or four sentences like you would maybe in a magazine ad or something like that. And then you want to keep it as simple as possible. Simple does not mean it has to be boring or it can't be creative. Simple is we want them to get it. We want to catch their attention. And the way to do that is with images and not using a lot of words, but you definitely want it to be creative. Okay. So we're going to look at some examples of some out of home, and they're in six different categories. We're going to start with the first one, billboards, which is the most popular type of out of home. Um, so billboards are easy to add extensions and they can be very, very creative. If you look at the top right one, that's for Gain detergent. So this is a billboard, and it's 3Ds, and their whole ideal is the smell of gang is irresistible. So these people are grabbing at the clothesline with these t-shirts on it because they can't resist the smell of the Gain detergent that the clothes were washed in. So this is very creative. If you were driving down the highway or walking down the street and you saw this would catch your attention right away, and it would be easy to understand it. Very simple, but it's very creative. And similar, the bottom one is for Panasonic, and it's showcasing their nose hair trimmers. And then the cables are used to show why the man in the ad requires nose hair trimmers right away. So this is an example of using the environment that's around you. So they're using the wires to make it look like those are his long nose hairs. So it's very simple, but it's very creative as well. This is another billboard that's very creative. This is for ponds, and it says the dip represents a pore being cleaned. So with ponds, they needed to reestablish itself as the leading brand to fighting pimples with their facial soap and things like that in their market. So they did a series of creative billboard executions, and they were placed around the city to show how Pond's is the only solution to one's pimple problems, that it can really clean your pimples. This particular ad campaign won a lot of awards for its creativity. And so you can see, if you look at the top left one, that this person is in here like they're cleaning out a pore. Um, and actually, this is a real person. And here you can see it's not like a statue, it's a real person. And just to show you that, I'm going to press play on here. So this would definitely catch your attention because you see this movement and you're trying to figure out what's going on here. And so, like I said, it's very simple, it's easy to get. You see this person cleaning, and then you see ponds, and it says cleans pores and fights pimples. Here are a few more examples. The one on the left is for iTunes iPod, and they also use extensions. Very creative. If you look closely at the images, they actually use covers of albums of people's real work. So, like different artists and the cover that would be on their album. And basically, it's just saying you can have all this music on your iPod and using iTunes, and that would definitely catch your attention. The one on the top right for Hubba Bubba, their whole big idea is to say, like, in this little bitty package, all of this gum is in here. And this is something that's like very simple, but it gets the message across. You don't even have any words on this, you just have the brand logo and the package that it comes in. The actual billboard is actually a painting, and then this is an extension, like one of those balloon type of extensions. But because it's painted in 3D, it looks like this gum is actually wrapped around it. So very simple, but very creative. And then the last one about quit smoking. So this is very simple again, and you get it right away. You can tell it looks like a cigarette. You can tell it's an ashtray. And the billboard is just quitplan.com. So very simple, but very creative. Now, this one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because this is really a conversation piece, but I want to tell you some things about it. So, of course, this is Nationwide Insurance, and they have this long running campaign, Life Comes at You Fast. It's covered TV, print media, radio, internet. But in 2007, they decided to create a billboard on their company's headquarters building. So this is in Columbus, Ohio, and this building is Nationwide's headquarters. So the company took over three billboards, two for a fake company called Coops Paint, and one for its logo, Life Comes at You Fast, the tagline. And then the middle is the Coops Paint billboard. It spills out yellow paint out of this imaginary world of advertising and into reality. So it covers the whole bottom of the building, the parking lot below, the cars, the parking attendant, the shelters. And this was their whole billboard out of home type of advertisement. So I would be interested to hear what you think about this one. Okay, so the next one that we're going to cover is digital billboards. So digital billboards are the ones that changes every few seconds. Um, it's very good for a owner of the billboard because of the profit that you can make. So the cost is high initially. So 500,000 versus a space for a regular billboard, 100,000. But you can sell a single board to multiple brands. So think about how it's changing every 30 seconds or every 5 seconds. You instead of having one brand that is paying you to use that space, you could have five there. Um, these are known to have higher recall because of the moving and the lights and things like that. And this example, I'm going to show you just like 20 seconds of it. It is like the basic digital billboard, like one of the first billboards you've probably ever seen. Um, in your life. It's just nothing spectacular about it. It just changes every few seconds. He goes through about five different brands, and that's the basics of a digital billboard. These are also good for changing them different times of the day. So you might have one ad or a few ads where people are coming home from work and things that may cater to them. So that's in the evening, and then you have different ads in the morning, things like that. So it's very flexible. The next one that I'm going to show you is a digital out of home as well, but it's even more fancy, I'm going to say. So this company creates interactive billboards for brands. So it's business to business. So in 2012, they did this whole big thing on Memorial Day weekend, and it was called Times Square Dunk Take. It was launched on the Clear Channel HD screen in Times Square. And so viewers could help dunk either a painted lady or a strong man. And it was interactive, so players voted on Twitter to see who got dunked and watched it as it played out on this oversized screen. And then they also included a contest with it, so it's very interactive. This clip is about 3 minutes long, but very interesting. Okay, so very interactive, digital. The technology that they're using, where it looks like they're hitting the ball different ways, is called gesture recognition. So that was very interesting, business to business type of digital billboard. Okay, number three is spectaculars. These are very expensive, and because they're in high, very, very high traffic areas like Times Square or Sunset Boulevard. And usually they're just logos or taglines. If you look at the two on the left, you see all of these different out of home ads. A lot of them is just logos or just their tagline or just images. This is definitely not the type of advertising a smaller business would do. And then if you look at this one, you'll just see images of different brands there. Here I see the Target logo, nothing else with it, but things like that. And then they can also be digital. And the previous one we just saw could also fit in this category, which is the spectaculars. But let's look at, this is Oreos, and this will give you a great example of what I mean when I say it's just a logo, a tagline, and it's a very expensive thing to do. Okay, so that is a spectacular in New York, Times Square. Okay, the fourth one are station posters. So these are like airports and subways and bus stops. They're static. Most likely you'll walk by them instead of driving by them. They're not moving like transit advertisements. You see at the top left, it is a billboard at a bus stop. It's a guerrilla marketing type of thing going on here. Anybody you'll see, if nobody's sitting there, that's what it looks like. Here you have a bus station, and you have a billboard there, and we see those are very common. And this is inside a train station, so if you're waiting on a train, you would see that across from you, or when the train stops and you're on the train, you would see that. This one is considered a station poster because of where it is, and I have a clip of this. This is a seafood restaurant in Germany, and what they're promoting is that their fish is fresh as can be, and with the interesting twist to the way they executed this. Okay, so they want to assure you nobody hurt any animals, or the fish, I should say. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Number 5 is the transit advertising. So this is on moving vehicles like buses, cars, and trucks. And you can see I have examples here. Across the top, you have Weight Watchers, and they have the bus look like it's tilted. And then you have Axe, they're having a party because that's their brand. That's what they put out as their image. And then you have Snickers on a taxi when they ran this whole campaign, Snacksy. And then here you have another bus where they use the environment. Here, this is placed right here where the exhausted pipe and the smoke blows out. So it looks like he's smoking. This one is one of my favorite transit advertisements. And it's a truck, as you can see, a FedEx truck, where they have UPS inside their truck trying to say that we deliver our products, our packages, and we deliver theirs as well. Um, and then the last one is a train, and it's for Dos Equis beer. And so all of these are transit out of home ads. And then this one, I wanted to put this out here. It's kind of in between a stationary advertisement and um, a transit. So Tides, this is a non-traditional campaign, and they called it Loads of Hope. It was very clever and great for the brand, and it actually helped people in need. So after disaster situations like, let's say Hurricane Katrina or some type of tornado or things that we're going through now, they would drive there to those locations. This is an actual truck. You can see the wheels there, and they would just let people do their laundry, wash their clothes, dry their clothes for free. Um, and this is really good for a brand image and brand loyalty. So imagine these people are all in distress, and something as simple as washing your clothes, like your everything is destroyed and you have on the same clothes, being able to wash your clothes, that's going to put an impression on them. And they're going to always remember Tide was there for them. Okay. Our last one is mobile boards. And so these are the ones that move around. So not like the static ones where you're walking past them, they're walking past you. They have a 97% recall, and that's very, very high. You're bringing the ad to your audience. It's unconventional. It's bound to catch your attention. You walking around shopping or just walking down the street, even if you don't stop, that's going to catch your attention. So that is mobile boards. And then just a few tips for you in creating out of home ads. So think big. Remember what I said in the beginning. Large images and bold colors and things like that. Humor works really well in out of home because that's something you can do and people can get it quickly. Um, Simple is better, but it doesn't have to be executed. Simple as not creative and boring. So just keep that in mind. The fewer the words, the better. So the less words you can put on there and still get your concept across, the better. And you want to avoid complicated information. So, like if you were trying to say McDonald's is down the street, you don't want to put the address up there, of course. You're going to put like across the street from Market Mall, something like that, where that's not information they have to remember or try to write down. If you had a web address, you would have, let's say, Pepsi. It would just be Pepsi.com. You don't want to say Pepsi backslash blah, blah, blah. So very simple. You want to maximize the color contrast. So we want to be bold. We don't want colors that blend in together because people have to see this from away, very far away. And then take advantage of where people will see your message. So location and targeting based on where people are or people will be or people live, people work. Out of home advertising.